Welcome to Lanyap, a program about events, issues, and people. I'm Corey Crow. I'm joined today by Jude Kessler, who's got a series of books about the life of John Lennon. Jude, thanks for being with us today on Lanyap.
Corey, thank you for having me here. Just love any excuse to come back to Monroe. I think you and I talked about the fact before the show that I've lived in about 40 different cities, and it just so happens that Monroe is my favorite.
Well, Monroe's my favorite too, and it's good to have you here today. Tell me, you've written a series of books about the life of John Lennon, and not just 2 or 3 books. It's probably going to be like a 9 or 10 book series by the time you get done. What got you into John Lennon? Why a series about John Lennon?
Well, of course, I was a fan back in the day, but I knew when I went to college, I went through high school in 3 years and went to college early at 16, and I in 3 years got 2 degrees. I was really serious student because I wanted to write a book that would tell the life of someone, but would tell it as a novel so that you could read it and really get into it and feel like you were there. And I thought, well, who is it that I really know that I could write that kind of book about? And I thought, oh, well, I've been a Beatles fan since 1963, before they even were on the Ed Sullivan Show. I know everything there is to know about John Lennon, but I knew nothing. And I started doing research, and ends up I've been working on the book series for the last 38, getting ready to be 39 years. And I'll tell you why. Not because John's a great singer and composer, not because he's an artist, he's an award-winning artist, not because he was a champion for peace, and not because he won the Foyle's Literary Award for the best book in the English language, but because his life was nothing but tragedy, one tragedy after another, and he never let it defeat him. He found a way to turn tragedy into beautiful music, and that's a lesson for all of us, right?
It is a lesson for all of us. Talk to me a little bit about the research you've done. You've put 38 years into this. You told me you've been back and forth to Liverpool lots of times. And folks, let me just, I can't do it justice on the radio, but there's one of the books. This is not just some little fly-by-night book. You've got, this is 800 pages. And this is just one of the series, book number 6 about to come out. Tell me about take me up 1 through 6 real quick and get me to where we are and where you're heading in this book series.
Okay, so 1 was supposed to be the book. I was going to write the book, but I got John to age 21, and I had about 850 pages. I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. So maybe I can do it in 3 books. So then the next book was 61 to 63, where they're ragingly popular in England, but no one's heard of them in America.
Right.
And there was another 750 books. So I said, okay, well, let me see how much I can get in the next one. Well, the next one was 1963 and a little bit of 1964. And it was 850 pages. So I'm like, okay, I give up. This is going to be like 9 or 10 books. And it takes you almost day by day through John's life, and hence the lives of the Beatles. And the one that's coming out in March is going to start when they land in America to do the 1965 North American tour, which is Shea Stadium, which is them getting to meet Elvis, which is the most dangerous concerts they ever played. And I'll just tell you, in Houston, the fans swarmed the runway as the plane rolled down the runway,
right,
with jet propellers turning. And then they jumped on the wings of the plane smoking cigarettes when they finally got it stopped. All of this was vastly dangerous. So it's that book. It's the book where they write Rubber Soul. It is the book where they take their very last tour ever of England, and they're changing. You and I talked about the fact that by 1966, they're remaking the map of the Beatles. They're not going to tour anymore after Candlestick. Right. They're going to be studio musicians, and they're going to look different, and they're going to act different. So we're in that pivotal point right now where they're going to change, and they're going to change the world.
Tell me a little bit about your book. You told me has made it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Tell me how that happened.
Well, about a year and a half ago, um, they went to my agent, Nicole Michael, at 910 Public Relations, and said they would be interested in putting the books in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I was just delighted because at that point we were working on book 5, and so what an honor to be included. I was really thrilled.
Tell me something that in your 38 years, what's something that would fascinate us, something we don't know about John Lennon?
He was asked by Kenneth Alsop in 1965 if he would rather be a writer, which he was, very successful writer, or a Beatle. And without batting an eye, he said, "Oh, a writer. I've been doing that since long before there were Beatles, and I'll be doing it long after." Absolutely, writing comes first.
What does the family think about all of this? Have you talked to any of the family
yeah.
about the book series, and what are their thoughts?
Well, his sister Julia and I are good friends, and she has all the books, and I think that they are very happy when someone tells the story the right way. No embellishments, research, footnotes, stick to the truth.
Footnotes. Just looking at this book, there's thousands of footnotes in just one of the volumes of the book. Where does all this research come from?
That's what I do. And I could not do this if it were not for my husband, who does everything else. You have to go to the grocery store, you have to mow the yard, and he makes all this possible.
Jude Kessler with us, the new book called Some Forever, coming out in March. Jude, for folks to find out more about your books, find out about the series and what's coming up in the series, how do they learn more about you?
John Lennon Series.com.
JohnLennonSeries.com. Jude Kessler, our guest today on Lagniappe, and find out more about the Beatles and John Lennon. You can find out more about events and other issues coming up in our area by heading to our website, KEDM.org. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast and videos.